Hey YouTube, it's my Ish Marie and I'm back with another hair video. So in this video, I'm going to show y'all how I get the straightest, cleanest, crispiest parts as if somebody else did my hair. Alright, so I just washed my hair. I'm going to blow dry it kind of, not straight, but just blow dry it out. And the color that I'm going to be using is 33. This is just something that I found in the shed. A lot of times when people get their hair done, they don't want to take the hair with them. They just leave it. So I use a lot of the hair that people, unless they say specifically that they'll be back, I'll write their name on the bag. But if they don't, they just say you can have it. I always just keep a collection of hair that I use on my own, so I don't have to buy it. Okay, so for starters, you need to have a mirror so that you can see the back of your head. If you want clean, not necessarily clean, because that rat tail will give you a clean part, but if you want a straight part, you have to make sure you can see the back of your head. So I got this mirror from, I bought it for my son from Amazon. It's a 3-way mirror. It has a light on it, but it's really helpful. It helps you to see both angles, left and right on both sides of your head. Another thing I do is I go ahead and section off my hair. Okay, so I do a split down the middle, and then I do a split across from ear to ear and section off the front from the back. It's much easier to make a straight short part than it is to make a straight long part. So it's best to divide your hair into sections so that you could just make small parts and make them connect so that it'll make a long straight part. Okay, so once I know where my part is gonna go, I go ahead and put some shining jam on my scalp and hair, and then I re-part it and smooth it out. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be doing some knotless braids, but just a little tip. If you have short hair and you know how to braid, but you can't start knotless because the hair is short, you can take a tiny piece of braid hair, start it off like a regular box braid, and then start to feed in small pieces of hair into that braid. It's going to look like a knotless braid, but you'll have that knot just to give you a little bit more support if your hair is short. Another thing I want to mention is the brick layer. A lot of people probably already know about this, but once you start that first row, you want to make sure you have 4 even sections. When you get to the second row, each part should land on top of each box braid. So the first row, if you have 4 braids, the next row you should have 5. This brick layer pattern is important because it's going to save you a lot of time. I'm going to insert a template, the one I go by for medium. This is the one for medium braids, which is what I'm doing on my head. So if you're just parting and braiding and not paying attention to the pattern, you may be adding way more braids than you need or way less braids than you need, which could make it look too thin, or it might look thick, which is not bad for some people, but like I said, it'll save you time. You don't need it. Alright, so here you notice the way I'm parting. As long as you have that part landing right on top of the braid below, on the row below it, they should fall in between each other. And that's what's going to give you the good coverage. So I did these braids back on May 29th. Today is June 30th. So yesterday was a month I've had these braids in. I'm just not getting to editing the video and putting it out. But yeah, these braids been in for a whole month and they don't look bad. And I've washed them a couple times. We've been swimming, so I washed them a couple times and they still look good. Okay, so for these medium braids, the nape area should only have 2 rows. The first row you have 4, the second row you have 5. The next row, which is the 3rd row, that's going to go above your ear. So it'll go to the front towards your sideburns. So if you have a problem with sectioning, make sure you just section off from ear to ear, like the top of your ear in the back, and then divide that in half. And that way you'll get 2 even sections for the nape area. Now, all heads are not made equally. So if I'm doing somebody else's hair and I split it, I part it from ear to ear at the top, and then I split that. If I feel like the part still will be too big, I'll do it another row and split them into 3. That way the customer won't feel like I'm cheating them, you know, giving them less braids, because those are bigger than the ones, they'll probably be bigger than the ones in the top. Okay, before I start the braids for the third row, I go in and section off 5 rows from the middle of the top of my head to my ear on both sides. So basically I should have 5 rows on each side. So I should have 10 braids going across my front hairline. When I first started doing other people's braids, I used to be so mad at myself because when I would get to the top, I would run out of room, or I'll have too much hair left for the last section. And this method is just going to ensure that you already have everything even and everything sectioned off before you even get to the end. So you already know pretty much how many braids you're going to have. You already know. All right, so now that I have the front section already parted off, I'm going to go ahead and basically just connect those parts to around the back. Just connect them, make sure they're clean, and make sure they're straight. Sometimes when you are parting, you don't want to pull on the rest of the hair. Kind of like I'm doing. My right hand is pulling my hair up while I'm parting. Some people have moving scalps, and if you pull it on the hair while you're parting, it's not going to be straight. You have to let the hair go, like don't touch it, drop it. Don't even pin it up. You have to literally part it without touching the rest of the hair. That's the only way a moving scalp part is going to be straight. Another thing you have to pay attention to, each time you're making a part going across, pay attention to how thick, like the hair that's hanging down, pay attention to how thick that hair is. And make sure the distance between the top and bottom is the same as the row beneath it. When I'm done parting the hair, I'll take the hair that's hanging, I'll open it up just to see how thick that section is. And make sure it's not too far away. Make sure that part is not too far away from the other part. I pretty much can eyeball it, but if you can't, you could use your comb as a measuring tool. Let me kind of go back to step 1, because none of this matters if you can't see the back of your head. If you don't have a mirror like this, just use any kind of mirror. Just prop it up in a position to where you can see the back of your head. And it don't have to be a 3-way mirror. That's just convenient, so I don't have to keep moving it. But if you just have one mirror, you might have to turn your body a certain way to see the other side. But yeah, none of this matters if you can't see the back of your head. Making these clean parts as if somebody else, basically you got eyes in the back of your head. None of this matters if you don't have a mirror to see the back. All right, so once you get to this 3rd row, you should make a middle part because you had a middle part on the 1st row. The 2nd row, you had a braid in the middle. In this 3rd row, you're going to have a middle part in the middle. So you should have the same amount of braids on each side of this middle part. Just like the 1st row, you had a part in the middle and you had 2 braids on each side of that part. Once you get toward this top area, like the other rows, it may not be as easy to follow the brick layer, but as long as you stay consistent with how many braids you should have on each row, just make sure you have a specific amount of braids on each row, and that you should be fine. And also, once you section off a row, go ahead and pre-part each braid. Just pre-part so you'll know where they're gonna land, where the braids are gonna be parted. Also, when you pre-section for each braid, start in the middle and then work your way around toward the edges. The easiest way to make sure they're even is to split the hair in half and then split that section in half. All right, y'all, so this is the end of my video. This is how my braids came out, and like I said, I still have them in. and they look good. So I thank y'all for watching this video, and I'll see y'all next time.